one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
This story comes to us from Reuters. Helmeted police in riot gear turned out Friday evening last week in a tense confrontation with protesters in downtown Los Angeles, California, after a day of federal immigration raids in which dozens of people across the city were reported to be taken into custody. Live Reuters video showed Los Angeles Police Department officers lined up on a downtown street wielding batons and what appeared to be tear gas rifles, facing off with demonstrators after authorities had ordered crowds of protesters to disperse around nightfall. Early in the standoff, some protesters hurled chunks of broken concrete toward officers, and police responded by firing volleys of tear gas and pepper spray. Police also fired flashbang concussion rounds, and it was not clear whether there were any immediate arrests. An LAPD spokesperson, Drake Madison, told Reuters that police on the scene had declared an unlawful assembly, meaning that those who failed to leave the area were subject to arrest. Television news footage earlier in the day showed caravans of unmarked military style vehicles and vans loaded with uniformed federal agents streaming through Los Angeles streets as part of the immigration enforcement operation. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, agents targeted several locations, including a Home Depot in the city's Westlake district, an apparel store in the Fashion District, and a clothing warehouse in South Los Angeles, according to the Los Angeles City News Service. And Home Depot is where it really kicked off. CNS, the city news service, and other local media reported dozens of people were taken into custody during the raids, the latest in a series of such sweeps conducted in a number of cities as part of President Donald Trump's extensive crackdown on illegal immigration. The Republican president has vowed to arrest and deport undocumented migrants in record numbers. The LAPD did not take part in the immigration enforcement action. It was deployed to quell civil unrest after crowds protesting the deportation raids spray painted anti ICE slogans on the walls of a federal court building, that's the Metro Detention Center, and massed outside a nearby jail where some of the detainees were believed to be held. Impromptu demonstrations had also erupted at some of the raid locations earlier in the day. One organized labor executive, David Huerta, president of the Service Employees International Union of California, was injured and detained by ICE at one site, according to an SEIU statement. That's the union. The union said Huerta was arrested while exercising his First Amendment right to observe and document law enforcement activity. No details about the nature or severity of Huerta's injury were given. It was not clear whether he was charged with a crime. ICE did not immediately respond to a request from Reuters for information about its enforcement actions, nor Huerta's detention, and they won't give it up. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass issued a statement condemning the immigration raid, saying these tactics sow terror in our communities and disrupt basic principles of safety in our city. The protests continued through Saturday and Saturday night, with Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deploying tear gas, CS gas, in the streets of Paramount, California, while protesters threw rocks, bricks, and bottles at the police and federal customs vehicles. The National Guard then was deployed to the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown Los Angeles, which is part of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, on Sunday morning, this last weekend. And so it's bad. And I heard that they were going to try to get up to, I don't know if they've done it yet, but they were wanting 2,000 National Guard troops in Los Angeles. There were several National Guard troops at the time of doing this editorial story here. And also, there was one guy, a protester, he was trying to stop a ICE vehicle or a border control vehicle, and they literally ran him over, knocked him down in the street, and then backed up and took off. So he got run over. Um, and I mean, it's not right, but it is a true case of FAFO. You get in front of a vehicle, hold the hood, and they accelerate, you're going down. It's a matter of physics. But yeah, Los Angeles, San Diego community there, they ran ICE out. They said, get out of our community. They weren't taking it. Minneapolis has had an uprising over ICE and immigration custom or immigration enforcement. And now Los Angeles, they're declaring a national emergency, bringing the National Guard in. And I watched it, Pedro Libre Audits on YouTube, PLA. He was there Saturday night. I watched his um, coverage of it most Saturday afternoon into the night. And yeah, they were throwing bottles at the cops. You could hear the glass shatter, and they were firing firework rockets, which were exploding in front of the cops. I mean, it was looked like a third world country. It didn't. It looked more like El Salvador than Los Angeles, California. But it's all over this immigration enforcement. And I understand if you're here unlawfully, breaking the law. I get that. You're in violation of law. But what gets me about this is I don't have a problem with people coming here to become U.S. citizens. That's what America's about, the melting pot. Bring us your poor, bring us your destitute. But what gets me is the people that have been here for 10, 15 years and they don't have any paperwork or paper trail showing that they've attempted to become U.S. citizens, nor even legal permanent residents. So I'm like, if you're going to come here, at least file to be a legal permanent resident, LPR, employment authorized, so to speak. At least then you can say, hey, I'm trying. I got a paper trail. US, you know, the USCIS is working with me. But when there's no paper trail, it's like, what have you done? You came here, but you didn't attempt to do it lawfully. I don't know. It's a can of worms. And I could draw a lot of criticism, which I probably will, but I want to know what you all think. Let me know in the comments section below.